Yo, what is up, guys? It's the Nightwing at Way of Life Esports coming at you guys with another League of Legends video here today. The LCS 2021 Mid-Season Showdown Round 1 has now concluded. We have Cloud9, Team Liquid, TSM, and 100 Thieves all moving forward to the LCS 2021 Mid-Season Showdown Round 2. We have two action-packed best-of-5s coming up for this weekend. For Saturday, you have Cloud9 taking on Team Liquid, and you also have Team TSM taking on 100 Thieves. Now, Team Liquid has beaten Cloud9 all year since the LCS 2021 season has started. And guys, guess what? Remember last year for the LCS 2020 Spring Split playoffs for the losers bracket, TSM ended up facing 100 Thieves and narrowly beat them, actually. So we have a rematch from last year's Spring Split losers bracket playoff matchup, which is 100 Thieves versus TSM. And Ryoma is now gonna face Power of Evil. He couldn't even beat Bjergsen, and now he's gonna face Power of Evil. This guy just gets through the ringer with all the best mid laners. He's lost to Niski, he's lost to Power of Evil, he's lost to Bjergsen. Man, this guy just gets clapped by everyone. But
he's the new Ica.
He's the new Ica? Holy shit. Hey, him and Ica were considered the worst mid laners last year. So, you know, like, we talked about it before. I really don't understand, like, why they've tunneled so hard on Ryoma. Like, I just don't see an upside to this player, though. I really don't see it. Like, unless they know something during, like, scrims or and they obviously have more information, I just honestly don't know what they really see in Ryoma. But before we get to that series, to predict it, obviously, Cloud9 is taking on Team Liquid. As I said before, Team Liquid has beaten Cloud9 all year. Like, they've won the last best of 5 they played. They beat them in the LCS 2021 Spring Split and in the LCS 2021 Lock-In Tournament. Cloud9 has only ever won 2 games against Team Liquid in the last best of 5 they played in the LCS 2021 Lock-In Tournament. So, looking at Cloud9 and Team Liquid, it's going to be decently hard to predict this series because this should be 5 games. You know, this should be one of those banger series you look at and go, okay, I really enjoyed that best of 5. Might be one of the best of 5s we ever have in LCS history. To a certain extent, we'll have to see how it goes. The biggest weak point for Cloud9 going into the series is obviously going to be Fudge. I think personally going into this series, Fudge is going to be one of the more weaker players. And if Alphari can definitely step up for Team Liquid, that's going to be a big part where Team Liquid can win. But as we saw with the 100 Thieves series, Fudge definitely was able to handle Someday. So it's very possible Fudge can handle Alphari. Now, looking at the other parts of the map, it's all relatively competitive. Perks versus Jensen, you have Blabber versus Santorin, Tactical and Core JJ versus Sven and Vulcan. You have a pretty good line of matches here, and I think the only real one-sided matchup would come from top lane with Alphari, but what do you think, man?
I'm looking at this series and I'm thinking it's gonna be a best of 5. I have Team Liquid. Maybe this is gonna be off a little bit of recency bias, but I like how they managed to adapt and come from behind in the games they had with TSM, because there were a couple games where TSM could have easily made the series a best of 5 series, but they kept the mental. They stuck with their plan. And we saw Santorin and Jensen showed why he still was worth all the penny that Steve, gave. He popped off on Silas, and I feel like he's gonna show Perks that, you know what, Bjergsen's not here. Guess what? I'm the new Burger King. I guess I'm in and out.
Oh my god, you are the corniest motherfucker ever. How do you
But
get
you're
me?
laughing.
How do you
You're laughing.
Oh my god, I hate you so much. These TSM fans, guys, you let a TSM fan in your fucking Discord, they start talking a whole bunch of shit. Because he was like, Warren, before the show, was like, Dignitas suck, fucking Unicorns of Love suck, TSM are the best team ever, they're gonna win Worlds this year. Holy shit.
God, he's delusional, don't listen to that.
This man's always throwing shade. Always throwing shade, you know? But hey, some people just only talk when, Dignitas wins. It is what it is, right?
True story. Hallelujah.
So, looking at this best of 5, there's even matches across the board. Like, Perks has been super impactful for Cloud9 success during the split so far, or during this portion of spring so far for the 2021 LCS season. You also have Fudge, who has actually improved. I'll say that he actually has improved, but is it enough to take down Alfari? I don't think so. But if he can just be relatively competitive, I think it's fine. If you give him picks like he had during the 100 Thieves best of 5 Cloud9 played, all you got to do is give him basically champions that he can thrive on, like Sion and Gnar. I think he can thrive on champions like that. You have the bot lane, which I think is dead right even. You could probably give that edge to Sven and Vulcan because I think Sven is a better AD carry than tactical. But even if you do that, it's
Mm,
you have
mm.
Core JJ and Vulcan, light pretty. Core JJ might have the edge in that one too. So even if you were to leverage the edge in either way, I don't think it's such a big difference. It's gonna come down to basically like the jungle matchup, Blabber versus Santorin. How do you think about Santorin this split so far? Have you really liked his play or?
Um, he is what I would say, and maybe you disagree with me when I say this. I think he is a better ex-Smithy.
That's not the same thing too. Like he facilitates his teams. Like he's just been an A Smithy level player without the success to go with it. Honestly, like I still don't believe he can take Team Liquid to the next level. I don't care what any Team Liquid fan says. Like Santorin's a great player. No offense to Santorin, but he's not gonna be what Team Liquid need. I truly think they need a carry jungler because they have a carry bot lane, and all you have to do is when you have a carry jungler, you can dedicate the resources to one of the lanes. Team Liquid do have a playstyle where it's not that they play through top lane, it's just that Santorin mostly will path toward top lane. Jensen will be kind of on his own. So if Cloud9 can tackle mid lane, obviously since we know Santorin really won't be putting that much pressure on the mid lane, definitely Cloud9 have an edge in that. And it all depends on how the bot lane 2v2 goes. Tactical and Core JJ are great at 2v2s. Zen and Vulcan are great at winning 2v2s. So for this best of 5, I think it all comes down to it's not even just about what you draft, it's about how you draft and which champions you give some of these players. If you give Fudge someone like Set and Sion and Camille and his Aurelia, I think he'll do just fine. If you're giving Alfari always the winning matchup, he'll definitely dominate Fudge. With the mid lane, it really is a dependency issue because Perks has played more consistent than Jensen all year. Jensen did have a pretty good performance against TSM, obviously, when they faced against Team Liquid last time. The issue here is, like, where else do you give the edge to any of the teams, though? Because I think it's pretty even down the line. If you look at it player by player wise, it's just Team Liquid win in top lane. That's it. So if C9 can identify their weaknesses in top lane and give Fudge champions that can relatively make him stable, I think it'll do just fine. But Jensen is a player where Jensen would have to show up for them to win this series, though, too. Because Jensen also showed up against TSM, where he was able to, bring out Silas. He was bringing out Twisted Fate. That's the Jensen we wanted to see. Ari's been a good pick. What do you think about Ari so far? I know everyone's been making their big, long Reddit analysis about Ari. Like, I don't know. Like, man, people be going too far with these analyses. It's not that deep with some of these people. These people are going these people are literally choking on Ellis's long, fat, white cock so far down his fucking ball sack that they're over here making 90 paragraph Reddit essays. Like, guys, it's not that deep. You play a champion you think is gonna win.
And it could be, yeah. You got to remember that Ari is not for a pro player. Ari is not a highly intensive mechanical champ like Aurelia if you put her in the mid lane, right? And she has CC, right? She has escapability. Once she gets some items, she has some pretty good wave clear too, so she can match roams a little bit. I'm not too sure because I'm not a mid main.
You play top lane, don't you?
I play top lane.
Yeah, same here actually. Yeah.
So I think it's one of those things is where once the mages are starting to get nerfed, because we saw Azir get nerfed, but we saw Corki, and I think we saw Corki in LEC. I'm just throwing that out there. We're gonna start seeing more different picks. I mean, recently I saw in the patch notes Lissandra got buff.
I love Lissandra though. Lissandra's one of my favorite mid laners, dude. I love Lissandra.
We see what happens when a champ that was previously spammed, like Lissandra was a blindable mid lane at one point, right? Right. Good CC, good engage with her ult and Zhonya's. You basically weren't dying much, and you had a good 2v2. You could set and she's AP, so we might see Lissandra. I'm just saying that maybe possibly because again, once they buff these champions, and they've played them before. I wouldn't be surprised for certain like matchups. Now, with that being said, I think you're right. They're just over blowing it way out of proportion. I will say one thing.
Hmm.
I think that it's gonna come down to game one will decide the tempo of the game, and the first 10 minutes of what the junglers do will
Hmm.
dictate how the game play how the series is gonna go. Because passing is gonna be important,
Hmm.
and we're also gonna see which jungler, if they're behind, can come back and still be impactful throughout the game.
Yep, I'm saying Cloud9 win 3-2. Let's go, baby. We're going to the finals, and Cloud9 is winning this split. We're going to MSI. We should have been at MSI last year because of
$6
COVID.
million waste. Okay.
$6 million. That's your team, because your team is next,
That's
you
what
piece of
he
shit.
got buyed out. He got buyed out for like what for something ridiculous. That's why I'm saying like I just can't see if any team gets a 3-1,
Mhm,
they either had a bad read on the draft
mhm.
or they're just wasn't well prepared because I just can't see this being a 3-1 for.
Yeah, I can't see it's a 3-1. I mean, Team Liquid would have to literally hard throw in a lot of these games for it to be like a 3-1. So now you have the second best of five. You have TSM taking on 100 Thieves. Like I said before, guys, deja vu. This was the LCS 2020 Spring Split Playoffs losers bracket matchup. Last year, TSM narrowly edged it out against 100 Thieves. Bjergsen definitely pulled it through for his team, definitely having an all-star performance on the Victor game that he had when they took out 100 Thieves last year. This time around, it's different, though. There's no Bjergsen, but there is a Ryoma. So can Ryoma finally take down TSM? And obviously, since he's a TSM fan, he's going to say, fuck no. And I could care less,
That's a
but I
hell
know
no.
TSM's sorry, fucking hell. TSM should have be, fuck, god damn. Dude, I can't see a world where 100 Thieves actually win this series. Sorry, guys, I was stampering my words. I've had a very, very long day. So, pulling it back a little bit, I definitely think TSM should easily win the series. Like, come on, they should easily win this
I
stuff.
mean, we said that about the Team Liquid series, and look how that went.
Okay, that was more analytically correct because we literally just saw TSM beat them both times during the split, though. You know, I'm just saying. But hey,
Right.
but hey, TSM played a pretty good series against EG. You know, there were some close moments, but overall, you were never like thinking to yourself, okay, yeah, TSM's gonna automatically fucking lose. You know, outside of maybe game 4 when EG, let's I don't know, turbo inted and ran off a fucking cliff or some shit. Dig versus the 100 Thieves last week. I mean, let's be honest here. Like, Dig definitely underperformed. Now, whether or not they choked or whatever semantics people want to play with, it doesn't matter. They didn't show up. But 100 Thieves were definitely not tested that series either. I feel like TSM has been a lot more tested than 100 Thieves has been recently. And I think the players are just playing better. I think Huni's playing better than Someday. Spick on a closer. I think Spick has been playing better recently. Power of Evil has been playing relatively better than any mid laner 100 Thieves have put out this
Very
year.
consistent.
Very consistent. Bot lane, Sword and Lost versus FBI and Huhi. That's like your only close margin because even last week when Dig faced 100 Thieves, FBI and Huhi were still pretty solid bot lane. Like it feels so bad them being this solid of a bot lane, this good, and they're just getting dragged down by the rest of their team so far. So I don't really think there should be a point where TSM should be losing this. I think some of the TSM fans on the TSM subreddit, where I was looking through some of the comments today, they're like, well, the only real way to lose a series is if TSM starts like drafting like crackheads, drafting no engage, and when just a fucking Udyr.
Oh, and Nocturne top again. Like I like what they did.
I like the
It
Nocturne top. It shows that they're trying to be flexible. That's a good thing. You should be praising that, honestly.
yeah, because you're gonna need that if like it doesn't matter which teams make it, which team makes it. I just want a good team that experiments for MSI. So
Mhm.
it's just good to see in
Yeah,
general.
but it depends. Like TSM, will they experiment game 1? I don't know. And that's the thing with like experiments. People have to understand this. These teams have scrimmed these picks. Like this is not really an experiment. It's an experiment to you because you've just seen this, and it's obviously something new to you. They've been picking this up probably a ton of games in scrims. You just haven't seen it yet because they felt no reason to really bring it out. Now, in terms of TSM's drafting, it's hard to really say because when we're not drafting coaches, but I mean, I guess I could just give my opinion on it. There's been some games they've lost this split and in playoffs because they've been drafting some weird shit. It's not even like the champions themselves; they just draft no engage, and some of their dragon some of their
Setup.
dragon stuff is really bad. Like they don't really have problems in the mid game as much as they used to. It's more or less so like they need some refined work. You know, like if you're setting up for dragon, you need to do it well in advance. Like teams in the LPL already know when the dragon is respawning because you have a timer, obviously. But they've been prepping that like 5 minutes in advance. They have the support warded, the junglers warding all the different little quadrants around it. It's just more or less so like what can really TSM do to fail to let 100 Thieves win? That's how I'm seeing it. Because 100 Thieves drafting, that shit's terrible. Like you need to actually start drafting good to actually get any wins so far. You know, like TSM's literally just drafting to a point where they don't really have a setup in terms of engage. Like that Udyr composition they had with the fucking was Senna. I was like, holy shit, what is this? Who paid off Bjergsen a draft like this? Like 100 Thieves. God damn. I'm gonna talk about that. Holy shit, 100 Thieves gonna make me blow my goddamn brains out. So, guys, it doesn't matter who they start. If they start Ryoma or Diamante, it doesn't matter. They're gonna lose anyway. TSM win this 3-0.
I have 3-1 if they mess up. I think what we saw.
If they grief game one, yeah, I would say 3-1. But looking at
if
this
it
best
gets
of
really
five,
bad,
TSM
it could be 3-2.
TSM should stomp these guys. Like I'm saying 3-0. I think this is an easy best of 5, honestly, in TSM's point of view. Last year, you can make the comparison. Maybe they could, got to game 5. They did last year at this current point in time during the year. But this time around, I think it's just so night and day different between the teams. I mean, what does the 100 Thieves really have, though? They don't even do anything in the early game anyway. Like TSM, though they're not the most proactive team early on, are still going to be doing more things than 100 Thieves. And then again, Power of Evil, Gaps Ryoma, fucking Spica's pretty comparable to Closer, and Huni is decently comparable right now to Someday, because Someday's also having a downward trajectory right now. So I think this is pretty easy for TSM, in my own personal opinion. You're saying 3-1, actually?
I'm saying 3-1. I think that TSM, we saw Power of Evil last week on his control mages, we saw Sword Art on engages, and we saw Lost on a carry for the late game. I think if they stick to that stuff and give Huni a winning top lane matchup or give him a weak side where he can survive, he's gonna do fine. So I think they have their identity. I really think the reason I'm also agreeing with you, either 3-0 or 3-1, it has to be one of those, is I think that there's a dysfunction right now within 100 Thieves. I'm sure Demonte is probably really, upset or something. Ryoma is not this like better control mage than Demonte. So
I just
what
don't
did you
see
really
it.
switch? What did you really switch out for? And remember what the whole appeal about 100 Guardians is that I will
Sticking with this
always throw
narrative,
shade.
aren't you? Sticking with
I'll
this narrative to the end.
sticking with the narrative
He's like,
shade
this
to
is
the
my
end.
narrative, and I'm sticking to it.
100 Guardians. It was Demonte was, remember, because they got rid of Haunter, right? And they
Yeah.
basically 100 Thieves got 4 and -1. Demonte was a core part of that reason why they were so successful. So you just took out a key component from that group. There's gonna be dysfunction, and because it's so late in the season, you can't figure out the mistakes, and there's band-aids. So, to sum up, because I totally agree with you, I don't really see much. I feel like mid lane's a gap. Friggin' Alfari said on a stream himself that he thinks Huni is the second best top laner. So if he's saying
He's
that,
definitely proven me wrong. He's definitely did a whole lot better this split. He's definitely
yeah,
that's good. That's good that he's proven people wrong. Like you want that, but you
right,
have to predict. People don't understand this. You have to predict accurately based off of what the player has shown you. You have to do that because you can't be like, oh well, yeah, Huni was gonna play better this year. I already knew it. Why? I had a dream. What the fuck? You don't. That's literally like you could say. I think he can play better with the circumstances given to him and the players around him. That's a fair assessment. But to just be like, oh, he'll play better just because, I don't know, the fucking sky will zap him with lightning and he's going to turn into some fucking Flash character that's going to be like, what, winning TSM games? There's no way you would ever know that. So, just looking at just his first draft, God, Dignitas, guys. Oh my god. Dignitas led 100 Thieves have Gnar, Hecarim, Orianna, Kaisa, and Alistar. While they themselves took Gangplank,
That's
Volley.
AIDS.
That's cancer.
How do you let them have basically
five
very good
power picks.
power
It's all
picks?
power picks. They let them have literally 5 power picks. That's all the best champions right now in the competitive league meta. While Dig themselves, guys, guesses had Gangplank, Volibear, Arya, Kalista, and Thresh. Oh, God. Take that
I mean,
crack. We're not even doing copium here. We do crack. Fuck.
I guess volley for the early get. I mean, I understand their draft, but the problem with their draft is you need to win with that bot lane fast. And GP is the assurance that you have a global to respond to TPs and also to have late game scaling.
That's
But
just
the problem is
disgusting.
they're short ranged, and like it's just you just gave all the power picks. Like you gave ball delivery for Alistar, and you gave ball delivery even for Hecarim, and even Kai'Sa if you want to be
Dude,
ballsy.
fucking
I don't know.
Dignitas in game 3, let them take Gragas, Hecarim, Zoe, Kaisa, and Rel. Just give up your LCS spot. Come on. Just get out of the
Yeah.
fucking league. Dude, those drafts, they got away with draft murder against Dig. While Dig themselves in game 3 took Xayah, Rakan, Orianna, Udyr, and Renekton. Get out. Fire that drafting coach. Okay, I don't even blame draft for losses that much. I like some weird fucking cringy little weirdos in this community. But just actually stop drafting. That is, you get, like, Royale picked Zoe, who has not been meta since, I don't know, beginning of locking tournament this year. Like, come on. Like, what are we doing here? Or let me go to the EG series, and like, because the TSM drafting gets EG. I think it was okay, honestly. Let me go to game 1. Game 1 will pop up in just a moment. Here we go. Right here. So, the first draft, Nocturne, for TSM, it's Nocturne, Udyr, Syndra, Xayah, Rel. That's a pretty cool draft right there. I like that. I like the little Nocturne pick they got. EG have Sion, Lilia, the Yasuo 2.0 guy, fucking Haim, fuck God. Yon, Tristana, and Gragas. Who's drafting for EG? Definitely a crackhead. That guy's a crackhead.
No. I mean, I get why you could. I see why they went with. I don't know what the
Yon
draft.
makes sense into Syndra because if he like Syndra won't be able to outduel him if he all-in Syndra, like he's gonna win every single duel. That makes sense. I like the Yon pick. Sion's fine. Lilia is fine. It's more like the Gragas support pick. Ignar plays so bad on it, and definitely was so unimpactful as Tristana. Like, oh my god, like TSM got away with murder. It started 100 Thieves for drafting that last week. Holy fuck, that was cancer to watch. But this week, I honestly think that TSM should easily beat 100 Thieves. I mean, it even going to 5 games should be a massive disappointment for TSM, knowing how bad 100 Thieves has played recently. Not like it doesn't really matter about their Dig series because, like, let's be honest here, did Dig really put up a fight against them? You got to kind of look at that too. Dig almost did nothing to fight against them. You know, it's more or less so like you expect 100 Thieves to win. I predict Dig based off the regular season. You know, it is what it is.
I think Dig overperformed by just making playoffs and getting a top 5.
And that's good enough for them.
Seeding.
People said they're going to be 8th. That's good enough for me. You're supposed to be 8th and you made playoffs? A-okay in my book. That's pretty much it, guys. Anything else you want to say, man, before we head out of here?
No. Nothing. Just
TSM suck?
Appreciate.
Right?
No, that's not true. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm glad you brought me back here, and I hope that we have some banger games.
Oh my god, why don't you just suck Reckless off, dude? Come on, we know you love him.
No, I don't like.
He's
Reckless.
so fucking. He's hot as hell, dude. Like if I was gay,
ever see when his face gets upset, it's like he's having a Tourette's or a seizure.
Remember, he used to cry after best of 5s. I used to just turn off the. I used to just go to another fucking thing. That was so fucking weird to watch, but I understand it. Alright, guys. See you guys later. Like, comment, subscribe. Most of all, enjoy. The fan cast is tomorrow, right? Yeah, it'll be you, me, and Ravioli. We'll do it at like what 6 something, 5 something p.m. PST. That's pretty much it, guys. See you guys later. Like, comment, subscribe. Most of all, enjoy. I'm the Nightwing, Way of Life Esports, and Warren. We're signing out, guys. Peace. Have a good night, guys.
Take care.
Peace out. Be good people.